at the end of 2008, that was probably one of the toughest calls I've had to make.
I know nothing about technology. I know nothing about marketing. I know nothing about the legal, all the stuff.
What do you know?
I want to know about people.
It is my intention to live to the highest calling and be pressed to the mark of the highest calling that I have come to do.
Warren's not interested in making money by cheating people.
Want to be happy? Build a life, not just a business.
Living that believing life. Out here living that believing life. Every day we living that believing life. Hustle like we're living that believing life. Living life, yeah, so we grinding it out. Every single day we be grinding it out. Hustle like we living that believing life, oh. That believing life, oh.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So today, let's live your best believe life and learn some of the best lessons from billionaire entrepreneurs. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with lesson #1. Take risks with Elon Musk.
2008 in particular was awful because we had the third launch failure in a row of our Falcon 1 vehicle at SpaceX, the Tesla financing round that we were raising fell apart because the economy was going through tailspin, and it's pretty hard to raise money for a startup car company. Late 2008 when GM and Chrysler are busy going bankrupt. That was tough, and then Solar City had a deal with Morgan Stanley, and Morgan Stanley had to renege on the deal because they themselves were running out of money. So it looked like all three companies were going to die, and I was also going through a divorce. So that was definitely a low point.
So it's 2008, you're going through a divorce, which like some, to borrow your word, douchebag bloggers are writing about to make even worse.
Right, yes, that's true. In addition to all that stuff happening, I was getting dumped on massively in the press.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like all three companies are going to fail. I mean, why do you keep going with all three? Like, I feel like even a lot of great entrepreneurs in that situation would have been like, I've already sunk everything I have in these companies, and I got to pick one. But you didn't. I mean, you kept doing all three. Why?
That was a very tough call. At the end of 2008, that was probably one of the toughest calls I've had to make. Because I could either reserve capital for one company or the other. I mean, fortunately, Solar City didn't need a ton of capital, so they were okay. But between SpaceX and Tesla, it's sort of like if you've got two kids, and what do? Do you spend all your money to maximize the probability of success of one, or do you try to keep both alive? Fortunately, it worked.
Lesson #2, lean into your dreams with Oprah Winfrey.
So it is my intention to fulfill the dream of the Creator. It is my intention to live to the highest calling and be pressed to the mark of the highest calling that I have come to do. And when you can ask the Creator, ask that which made you you, what is your dream for me? I guarantee you, instead of you trying to define the dream, what is your dream for me? If you're able to lean into the dream that the universe and all the forces of light and love and power and grace by all the names that we call God has for you, nobody can touch you. Nobody can touch you.
Lesson #3, think ahead with Jeff Bezos.
I always tell people, sometimes I get, we'll have a good quarterly conference call or something, and Wall Street will like our quarterly results, and people will stop me and say, congratulations on your quarter, and I say, thank you. But what I'm really thinking is, that quarter was baked 3 years ago. Right now, I'm working on a quarter that's going to reveal itself in 2021 sometime. And that's what you need to be doing. You need to be out sort of, 2 or 3 years in advance. And and then why do I need to make 100 decisions today? If I make like 3 good decisions a day, that's enough. and they should just be as high quality as I can make them.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
Before we were able to get the Roadster out, then they'd say, well, you couldn't possibly make that car work.
Your number one job is to become more of yourself.
It's really good to be idealistic, but be prepared to be misunderstood.
Lesson number 4, be ethical with Warren Buffett.
Both of us know that we've done better by having ethics. Warren's not interested in making money by cheating people.
Warren's opinions of Wall Street investment bankers would not endear him to their mothers. He feels that they're, for the most part, not out for their clients. They're out for their own business interests.
In the late 1960s, there were just a flood of accounting shenanigans and mergers built upon false accounting and misleading people. It was a time when a lot of charlatans were prevailing in Wall Street and were being applauded by Wall Street. And I understood what the game was about, but I didn't want to play in it. So I closed down the partnership at the end of 1969, and I took on the title of chairman for Berkshire Hathaway.
Lesson number 5, make others happy with Jack Ma.
I know nothing about technology. I know nothing about marketing. I know nothing about the legal, all the stuff.
What do you know?
I want to know about people. I know people. I was trained to be a teacher. As a teacher, you want your students better than you are. You want your best product is your students. You want this student to be a lawyer, that student is a banker, that student is an entrepreneur, that is a mayor. You don't want this bankrupt, that in the jail, that is in trouble. So you always want people better. And then you have to listen to them. You want to see their thing. And then make all the things to making sure that you can empower them. You can make them teamwork. You can then collaborate. So this is how we do. And I find the more you care about your team, the team will care about you, and the team will care about their customers. So I talk to all of my people early days, don't make me happy. Don't love me. Make your customer happy. Make your customer love you, and I will love you any minute. That is very simple. So everything we do as the founder, make your customer happy, get your team, make your team happy, and you will be happy.
Lesson number 6, be patient with Bill Gates.
And so I get to, when I say, okay, we're going to build a TB drug team, we're going to build the TB vaccine team, we're going to build the, kill all the mosquitoes in the world, gene drive CRISPR team. I get to, in terms of how we fund that, organize it, how many locations, do we wait till they have this result before we scale it up? I get to use the same, or 80% the same type of thinking that I exercised in terms of, okay, let's go do Windows, let's go do Excel. So it's backing engineers, it's getting a sense of the team, what needs to be added to that team, or the IQs on the team adding up as opposed to subtracting from each other. And it's very comfortable because the most intense period of Microsoft was where these teams were about size 30. And for our diseases, typhoid, rotavirus, there's a lot of diseases that hopefully you'll never hear of again, most of which don't exist here in the US. But so it is very, very similar. It takes a decade generally from start to finish. The AIDS vaccine, actually, we're on year 14, and it'll probably be another 8 to 10 years before that one is completely done. So some take as long as 20 years, because there's many dead ends and you have kind of a portfolio of approaches. But yes, I feel like my working with governments, hiring smart people, managing teams, it did prepare me well for this very operational organization that's a lot like a business, except that our profit is lives saved as opposed to a monetary measure.
And lesson number 7, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is empower people with Mark Zuckerberg.
Take me inside Mark Zuckerberg's head to like the moment that you decided you needed to change Facebook's core mission. Was there an event that happened, or was there just a moment that you said, we got to change something?
Well, for most of the last 10 years, this idea that the world should be more connected was not very controversial. Right, and now I think there are starting to be some people who question whether that is good. So just been this evolution where for me, and for a lot of the people I work with at Facebook, we feel like giving people a voice is a really important thing to do, but it's not enough to just give people a voice. You also have to, help build common ground, right? So that way, people can move forward together and aren't just, sharing a lot of different opinions, but you actually have to help reconcile that. So that way, people can come together as well. And that's a lot of the responsibility that we feel now, and the mission that we want to take on for the next 10 years of the company.
You keep hearing we've never been more divided, we've never been more polarized. Was it the political climate that led to kind of this awakening?
I think it's really this feeling that simply connecting the world is not enough by itself, that you also have to work and do proactive work to help bring people closer together, right? So you need to give people a voice so we can get a diversity of opinions out there, but you also need to do work to help build enough common ground so that way we can make progress as a society together, right? You want to help people stay connected with the people they already know and care about, but you also want to make it so that people get access to new people and new perspectives too. So we're going to keep on doing everything that we were doing before to connect friends and family and to help people share. But now we also want to help people build communities, right? And other ways that they can connect and help people bond and come together and spread tolerance and a lot of the values that I think we all want to see in the world.
Now, I've got a special bonus clip from Mark Cuban on how to be great at selling that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1. How can you better lean into your dreams this week? Number 2. How can you make someone else happy today? And number 3. What's the risk that you just need to take? And if you made it this far in the video, you're still watching, and you promise to take action after watching this video, I want to celebrate you. Give me a hashtag believe down in the comments as well.
If you come up with an idea where you say, I can make dollar bills for 50 cents, would you go out and raise money, or would you just go out and sell it? You just go out and do it, and that's what you have to do. And look, we all go through that fear factor of, do I quit my job? Can I do this? Can I do this, and what happens next? The one thing I know with 100% certainty, and what I would tell myself is, if I can sell and become a better and better salesperson and be great at selling, I'm always going to be successful whether I'm working for myself or if the company that I started just didn't work. I'll give you an example. Out of Indiana, before I went down to Dallas, I needed to start something, and I decided that everybody drank milk, and I found this product, powdered milk, that was cheaper, and everybody needed to save money. And I was going to go out there and sell it because it was cheaper. Now, it didn't taste quite as good, and so but I went out there to try to sell it. Failed miserably. But I learned how to make the sales effort even when things weren't going right. I learned that the rejection was, every no got me closer to a yes. That not every product was perfect, but I could take those same skills, even in failure, and translate them. So that what I learned selling garbage bags door to door, what I learned from selling powdered milk that was awful, what I learned from selling local area networks at Micro Solutions, all those things accumulated, and I got better at selling. So I always knew, people always say to me, if you lost everything, what would you do? I can sell. I can sell. And it's not about selling ice to Eskimos. It's not about, convincing people to do this. Selling is always about helping. Selling is always about understanding the person you're talking to and what their needs are. And if someone can help me make my life easier, yeah. People, now with employees, people always say, well, what's the definition of a great employee? Someone who can reduce the stress of those around them. And it's the same thing. What's the definition of a great salesperson? Someone who can reduce the stress of their salespeople. And if in looking at your company and looking at your life and looking at your goals, if you're able to go out there and recognize that whether it works or doesn't work, you're putting yourself in a position where you're helping somebody, not convincing somebody, and you're reducing their stress. You're gonna be okay. It's gonna work out, and that's the confidence I've built in myself that wasn't necessarily always there. But I learned that if I try to help, if I reduce people's stress, good things can happen.
If you want to see some more amazing lessons from billionaires, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Have you ever met a person who was a great reader when they were young who was not successful?
The way I tend to view problems is from a physics standpoint.